Hello, I am Olivia Robertson speaking to you from Clonegall Castle. I invite you to join with the priesthood and other members of the Fellowship of Isis in performing the mystery of Eros and Psyche, that love, abundance and joy may return to our earth. I want you now to be very relaxed, and you can switch off your tape for a while to get a glass of water for yourself and also a bowl, because I want you to have the water ready to come back from any state of trance. I don't want you to lose consciousness, but you may be more mazy than you think, so don't go rushing out into traffic after this session. There'll be a pause between the two sides also, if you wish to make a gap. Now, I want you to anoint your forehead with water in a circle. You may feel a little bit of tingling. This is helping to awaken your third eye. Now, be very, very comfortable. Lean back and relax. This is going to be a wonderful experience that affects the heart, your heart, for you are going to visit the land of heart's desire. Now, I'm in my time and place, and you are in your time and place, yet now we are united. Come with me. Rise out of your body through the creative imagination and move to a very small little green island set in the sea, Atlantic breakers at the west, and at the east the Irish Sea. And in the southeastern quiet pastoral corner, untouched by tourists, is a hidden valley. This hidden valley is a power centre of the Tutha Dé Danann. It is now activated, for it has been struck by a meteorite at the turn of the century. There is a silver river, the Slane Shlante of health, and a tributary, the Derry of the oak, and a matriarchal centre was always built on the tributary, the daughter of the river, the mother and the daughter. But where is it? You float above, you see a village, you see the rivers, you see a beautiful blue mountain, Mount Leinster, with two foothills forming three aspects of the triple goddess. You're encircled by hills, where there are nothing but trees. You hover around, and then you find there is a hidden castle, concealed with towering trees of spring, yellowy green leaves. And as you draw nearer, you see an avenue and daffodils, and a grey crenellated castle, ancient, four square. And know that there is a hidden jewel within, an ancient, miraculous well. Come with me now, for a mystery is about to be enacted. You hear the sound of a bell. As you sink down, you find that in the ground floor and basement of this castle is a temple of the goddess Isis, she of 10,000 names. As you sink, you realize you are approaching the well. You come down granite steps. A stranger, hooded, in deep black, challenges you at an iron gateway. I explain that you are a sincere seeker for love and truth, and he smiles, lifts up his staff in welcome, and opens the gateway. Now we enter and find a group of people surrounding something. We can't quite see what it is. They're wearing beautiful saffron-coloured white and green robes. A priest is wearing a high headdress with the sign of the planet Venus upon it, and there are priestesses wearing golden crowns and amber jewellery of Venus and copper-coloured lunulae. They are all surrounding a well, gazing into it. Come, let us look. Now, as we gaze into it, we see the form of a robed priestess seated. She's wearing a long saffron veil covering her face. Who is this? We realize at last we are to hear a pythoness, a channel for the goddess herself, who is being invoked that she may give the oracle by her priestess who stands before her.
Violet-crowned Cytherea, stately Aphrodite, Venus of the morning and evening star, we invoke thy aid. Come to us, borne by the moist breath of the western wind, that wind that once wafted thee over the loud moaning sea in soft foam, where the gold-filleted hours welcomed thee joyously. Come to us in the heavenly garments wherewith the hours clothed thee, on thy head a fine, well-wrought crown of gold, and in thy pierced ears ornaments of orichalcum, and golden necklaces over thy soft neck and snow-white breasts, which the hours wear when they join in the lovely dances of the deities. Thou who givest kindly gifts to men, bestow on us beauty, joy, and love.
Sometimes the oracle is not given, but this time the goddess speaks through her priestess, her daughter. Barter not my easy gifts of present happiness, and the sweetness that is in my wild roses, and the love in the eyes of laughing children, for fantasies of future power and possession. The sparkle in the fire-filled granite is as beautiful as the brilliance of diamonds, and the natural loveliness in the trees and grasses around you is not tainted with bloodshed. For all power and all possessions that you gain through harsh strivings and self-inflicted pain, through greed and long sleepless nights, and the sacrifice of present calm, bring legacies of misery and disillusion. Bitterness and disillusion injure the soul. You petition me for beauty, for happiness and love. Yet you have all these in abundance all about you, even beneath your feet. You lose yourself, your soul, your peace, in ceaseless hunger for one lover who neglects you. Yet around you are many who long for your smile. You strain for inspiration for your art, and you struggle for recognition. When you ignore the charm of a wild corner of a garden with what you call weeds gracing it, you dig up or poison the health-giving dandelions and vainly seek to grow foreign plants that die in an unfriendly climate. As for happiness which you pursue, you are deep within yourself happy now. If you will only accept your hidden well of ecstasy. The doorway to eternity is through the present moment. There can be no other. You tread the steps of time in an unending treadmill. Step aside in a quiet moment, and you will find all time, past, present, and future, is with you now, in all that you have appreciated as being attractive, cheerful, and friendly. So you will find my beauty in a face you ignored as plain, my joy in some unexpected friendship, my love in your tenderness for a hen protecting her eggs, and peace in the cooing of wood-pigeons and doves as my star rises in the twilight. The priestess gives thanks for the oracle, and the priestess who is veiled remains behind to recover from her deep trance, while the rest make a stately procession towards the high altar of the goddess. As they pass us, we see they are going down 9 pillars of the goddess in an L shape. Their copper crowns glitter in candlelights, innumerable candles, and their robes of saffron and green and white billow out behind them as they slowly move towards 2 pillars, the 2 pillars of the gateway to another world of positive and receptive energies. We note there is a high altar with the all-goddess being upon it, holding aloft the crown of Hathor, Egyptian goddess of love, the sun united with the horns of the moon. And incense is burning, and we can smell it as it rises in blue twirls into the sky, into the ceiling. On one side, on our left, between another 2 pillars, is the Shrine of Veena. A naked woman is shown here, carved in yew wood. She has no head, she's all body, but above her is a goddess subduing a passionate man, and there is a lion subdued by a lady. This is the altar, the goddess and the lion, passion subdued by love. On our right, near the high altar, is a very different altar, in white and blue colours, rather Chinese looking, of purity, of dignity, of the moon. And this is the altar of the goddess queen of heaven, Juno, who brings order, goddess of Aquarius. Now we see a young student come forward who wishes for initiation into the mysteries of Eros and Psyche. She approaches. She is robed in white, with her head covered with a white veil.
Wise priestess, pray resolve my dilemma. For long years have I studied the ancient knowledge, until mine eyes are dim and my head aches. Yet, though devoted to my studies, when eventime falls and I light my lamp, I am sore distracted. Once in the hours of midnight, when the bear was wheeling alongside of booties, and all the earthly nations lay locked in weary slumber, to my bolted doorway Eros came a-knocking. I rose at once and lighted a lamp, and let him in. He bent his bow and arrow, to the very heart he stung me. Now am I torn in 2 ways. This is my question, which do I choose, truth or love?
Now the priestess steps forward to the candidate.
Know that the lamp of truth enlightens the soul, but it is in the darkness that love is to be found. Hear the story of Eros and Psyche, that your mind and heart be reconciled in joy.
made three goddesses, Juno, Ceres and Venus, inspire us in the telling of it. In a bygone age there lived three sisters, and the youngest was called Psyche. She it was whose soul was so beautiful that she shone with white light. Her neighbours were dumbfounded by her virtue, and they declared had been impregnated by some heavenly emanation, and had brought forth a new maiden goddess, immaculately born.
Her fame was spread far and wide. People made long pilgrimages by land and sea to witness and then to worship this great wonder. Alas, no one now visited the goddess Venus's shrines at Cyprian Paphos, or Carian Knidos, or even the Isle of Cythera. Her festivals were neglected, her rites discontinued, and her holy statues were defaced. The goddess' altars were desecrated, and her temples allowed to fall into ruins. Soon the temples of Juno and Ceres met with a like dishonour.
Friends, imagine pilgrimages towards statues of the divine Virgin Psyche, while all the rites of love, the gaiety of the temples of Venus were neglected.
This blasphemous transfer of divine honours to a mortal brought desolation to the earth. The three goddesses turned away their faces from humankind. Joy, grace and wit departed from the earth, and all became ugly, dull and hard. Human love was in such discredit that it was considered evil to show even natural affection. Hear Psyche's lament.
Know that it was not Psyche's will that she should be worshipped as a goddess. She had a clear mind and rejected such divine honours.
Deep is my sorrow. The goddesses of glory, beauty, and creation have withdrawn from us. And I, poor mortal that I am, can only bestow on humans, orphaned of nature, my abundant tears. I shall go to the Delphic oracle for counsel.
Now Psyche, deeply distressed, turns to the Pythoness, the priestess, who is still able to channel through the goddess, though in secret, for fear of being persecuted by the followers of Psyche herself.
What wouldest thou of the priestess of Pytho and Apollo?
I would restore glory, joy, and beauty to the earth.
Hast thou not been hailed Queen of Heaven, Juno's rank, and adored as Our Lady, Ceres' honoured title? Art thou not called Star of the Sea, the holy name of Venus? Surely, O Psyche, thou mayest accomplish all things.
Oh, mock me not, a humble mortal. Grant me the oracle.
On some high mountain's craggy summit place, the Virgin, decked for deadly nuptial rites, awaits a bridegroom not of mortal birth, but a dire monster, viperous and fierce, who flies through the ether, and with fire and sword tires and debilitates all things that are terrific to the powers that reign on high. Great Jupiter himself fears this winged fiend, and streams and Stygian shades his power abhor.
Psyche is appalled, for this is the most terrible power known to humanity.
My mind is torn with panic terror. I am lost if I submit. Yet for the sake of the green earth, and for all the creatures that dwell there, I shall wed this dreaded bridegroom.
Now we realize that Psyche is willing to face ordeal, to face the fiery lord of the flaming abyss beneath the earth. She will become bride to this winged monster with undaunted courage in order to save the earth.
Take Juno's lamp, Psyche. It holds the light of truth. Never part with it, nor allow the flame to die through all thy trials.
Know that the lamp of truth must never be blown out, even by love, for truth, like love, is of the deities. The priestess, Pythoness, seeing Psyche's sincerity, her abhorrence of being offered divine worship, lifts a lighted lamp from the altar of Juno and presents it to her. Friend, I now want you to visualize what happens. From behind the altar of Venus, a tall stranger appears. He is hooded. He wears a scarlet robe, and a scarlet hood conceals his face. A bare arm is stretched forward to Psyche, and then another. As the innocent Psyche is in piety praying to the goddess Juno, the stranger slowly, inexorably leaves the altar of Venus and comes up from behind her. He places his hand on her shoulders.
What is this consuming fire that rises from unknown depths? Whence this sudden ecstasy that shakes my being? My will is turned to water and my strength to childhood. Protect me, heaven.
Psyche is now feeling an electric-like power burning right through her body, springing up through her spine, inflaming her heart. What is this? My friend, can you feel this mystical fire? Psyche swings round with courage. She does not flee. She is dauntless, and she's still holding her lamp. She faces the stranger, towering above her, and she holds out the lamp.
Whoever thou art, I challenge thee, show me thy face.
Take heed, Psyche. If thou dost see me in the light, I must leave thee, and love is lost.
The stranger has spoken. See the scene. The beautiful Psyche in white, facing this mysterious veiled stranger. He offers her love, but she may not see his face. What can this be? Can he be a devil, a monster? She has been told he is a winged monster that even the immortal gods fear. One day, my friend, you too may face such a challenge. Let us now decide what you yourself and what I would do in these dramatic circumstances. Truth is in your mind, your analytical brain. Yes, you have a clear mind, you think. But this fire is overwhelming your mind. You are in a state of ecstasis. Make your decision. Psyche is in a profound trance of meditation. Her head is bowed beneath her veil. Love, what is life without love? But one's truth must prevail. How can she surrender her heart to one who may be evil? She loves children, animals, trees, plants. How does she know that this mysterious stranger has any love in him at all? He might harm others. She might surrender what is good to that which is bad because of her own love. On the other hand, her love might redeem the stranger. If he were to marry her, chosen bride of a monster, she might draw him to greater good. And she still holds the lamp. The stranger waits impassively, his arms folded. For better or for worse, my friend, you have made your choice, whether to accept the concealed love or to face the truth. Eros pleads once more with Psyche, for remember, the earth is devastated with lack of love through people turning to Psyche as virgin goddess.
Take heed, Psyche. If thou dost see me in the light, I must leave thee, and love is lost.
Ah, Psyche has made up her mind. She stands forth, holding aloft the lamp of Juno.
Then so be it. In the name of truth, show me thy face.
She has made the choice that will affect all our earth. The stranger changes now from one of menace to one of nobility. He throws off his red hood and reveals the golden crown, the rayed crown of a god.
In the beginning, there were three primeval beings, Chaos, the Earth Mother, and her son Eros. Know that I am Eros, god of love. Psyche, farewell, thy cold mind has cast me forth.
Psyche trembles and retreats before the splendor of the god with his golden rayed crown and divine love and beauty upon his face. But as she trembles away from him, boiling oil falls from her lamp upon the bared shoulder of the god, who wears the golden toga of Eros.
Boiling oil from the lamp hast thou dropped upon the god's right shoulder, Psyche. His arm is wounded, and may no more draw his mother's bow.
Psyche is now overcome with remorse and grief.
Too late. Her last 2 arrows were shot by him into my right hand.
We see Psyche is not grieved at pouring boiling oil on Eros, but rather that his 2 arrows were shot into her right hand. She holds up her right hand, and we see 2 red marks upon the right palm, like pricks.
Twice they pricked my palm, yet still I'll grasp the lamp. How strangely burns my heart! Can this be love? I long to see once more the face of Eros. How may this come to me?
At last the icy virgin is beginning to feel the rosy glow of love, not the fire which she felt before and repudiated, but this time compassion for having injured the god.
Hear the command of the 3 goddesses. Restore our temples, and love will return to thee and to the earth.
So shall I.
Psyche is willing to undertake ordeals to restore the veneration of the triple goddess to earth, that the planet may be saved, though she knows how dangerous ordeal can be. So she takes her lamp, and with head bowed and sadly leaves the holy chancel of the pure goddess Juno, and goes through the 2 pillars and makes a winding circuit round columns with 2 snakes round them. What is this? It becomes darker. Between 2 pillars, around which the snakes climb, now she faces the altar of Venus, but it is hidden. The holy goddess herself, aureoled with light, wearing a golden crown, golden robes, and the blue cestus, the girdle of Venus, stands before her in all her glory and her love.
Wouldst thou restore my worship, and so be united with my fiery son? Bring me water from the river Styx, that is the girdle of my sovereignty.
Can this be a goddess of love? She can have little love for Psyche, for no, even the gods fear the deadly waters of Styx, which are the waters of death. This is an impossible task.
How may I draw that deadly water and still live?
Because of her tears shed for all earth's creatures, an eagle brought Psyche water of the underworld.
Psyche now finds, brought by a magical eagle, a vessel of water. It is from the Styx. She brings it to the altar of Venus and places it upon it.
It is well. My altar is now replenished with the water of life. Take this casket which contains all visions and ecstasies of the soul. Henceforth thou shalt have the power of guiding souls throughout the spheres. Psyche, I give you this casket.
Imagine this beautiful scene. The lovely goddess Venus picks up a casket and presents it to Psyche. Psyche accepts it with joy. A feeling of happiness pervades her being. Joy. However, she is now faced with another ordeal. Because of men's worshipping the soul rather than the earth, they have polluted harvests. Millions of people starve because of people's contempt for the earth, turning rather to high-minded ideas rather than to the great goddess Ceres. There is another altar further down near a holy well. It is the altar of Ceres, but now it is bare, for no man turns to the mere earth.
Psyche found the altar of Ceres in disarray and put it in order.
Tenderly, Psyche arranges the altar, makes a beautiful pattern of wheat and oats and barley. She offers honor to the goddess, when suddenly the goddess herself appears, a beautiful woman with a loving smile and long hair. She is wearing saffron-colored robes and green and brown, and she is of cheerful, kindly mien.
Thou dost bring order to my altar, Psyche, and so find favour in my eyes. Discrimination is needed when thou dost use the Pandora's box on my sister's altar, lest dire death and madness are released on the unwary. Behold these grains of wheat, barley, millet, lentils, beans, poppy seeds, and vetch. Sort them out from the other, that health may be restored to the sick on earth.
Did I say that this goddess seemed kindly? She has given Psyche an impossible task. How can any human being sort out mere seeds of wheat, barley, millet, lentil, beans, poppy seed, and vetch? Alas, what can Psyche do now?
How may I accomplish this, when to me seeds all look alike?
Now the ants knew the pains that Psyche ever took not to tread upon them as they laboured carrying seeds, so they hurried on their 6 legs and did the task for her.
Wonder of wonders, the ants can do that which no human being can.
The task is well done. My altar is restored to fertility.
The third ordeal is usually the most dangerous, almost impossible. Psyche, however, has the gifts of determination and loyalty. She is set upon her task, which is both to help the earth and also to find love, realizing now but both are intertwined. She now therefore leaves the friendly Altar of Ceres, passes that of Venus, and makes once more for the altar of Juno, Queen of Heaven. She is still holding her lamp. But this is different. She cannot see the altar, for the goddess herself has appeared standing before it. Juno of splendid mien. She wears a crown of a queen with immortal jewels of sapphires. She has a long white and blue robe of Aquarius, and a peacock is standing beside her.
So, Psyche, I see thou makest wise use of my lamp. Thy virtue still shines bright. To restore the dignity of my temple, it is needful that thou shalt procure for me the golden fleece of the sun.
One guessed the ordeal would be difficult, but this is impossible. Do you know what the golden fleece really is? The golden fleece is the golden light of the sun on the fleecy clouds that are called Apollo's sheep. Hence she is asking the unfortunate Psyche to go and fetch her some rays from the sun itself.
How can any creature approach the flaming sun and draw from Helios his shining rays, or take gold from the fleecy clouds?
A green reed that makes Pan's pipes knew of Psyche's care for plants, and so he whispered to her in the breeze, Psyche, aim not to reach the heights, for many fall from thence as is Icarus and Phaethon. Rather pick wool left on briar hedges by flocks of sheep. Is not wool golden in the evening sunlight?
Ah, yes, this is the humble way. Psyche now moves towards plants on which there is wool, golden in the light of candles, and she picks this wool, for she sees the beauty of the sun, even in the flicker of a candle upon wool. She brings it to Juno's altar and places it there.
My altar is glorified with the golden fleece. Psyche, thou hast found beauty in the hedges, so thou dost live in heaven, seen with the lamp of the truth.
Now Ceres approaches Psyche before the altar of Juno.
Thou hast seen immortality in a seed. Know that thou too art immortal.
Psyche now receives bread from the basket of Ceres, that of the mysteries. She eats it. She is told that this is ambrosia, food of the deities. This brings immortal life. Venus now approaches her.
Love the gods and goddesses. Love thy two sisters and all beings. Love the humblest insect, the butterfly, and thou shalt find my son.
Yes, she gives nectar, a glass of, a flask, a chalice of wine for Psyche to drink, saying these words.
Drink this nectar, wine of love, and feel everlasting bliss.
Psyche has now been given immortal ambrosia and nectar of the deities. Thus, food of the gods is within herself. At this moment, the priestess approaches and takes the white veil from her and places a wreath of roses upon her head.
Now I fear no more. I restore the lamp of truth to the giver of truth.
Psyche restores the lamp to Juno's altar, But now a great wonder occurs. Eros returns from the Venus altar in all the beauty of a god, and his holy mother Venus speaks to Psyche.
Psyche, thou mayest fittingly wed my son, knowing thou art a goddess.
At this point, all the company of the mystery are seated in deep meditation, feeling divinity within themselves, for are they not all offspring of Venus? They too have goddess and god within themselves. Friend, I want you now to sit with me slightly outside this circle and meditate upon the mystery of the god Eros and the mortal Psyche who became great Isis. Now all rise, and Eros and Psyche stand before the high altar, and they place their hands on each other's shoulders until power is felt between them. They turn to us all, and together, goddess and god, hold out the palms of their hands in blessing. I want you now to feel the blended rays of Eros and Psyche Isis. Sun and moon are one, woman and man are one, goddess and god are one, and you are one with all that is. The priestess speaks to the student candidate who undertook the part of Psyche.
My friend, know that from their union of love and truth came forth a child named Joy.
Feel this joy now. Try and visualize now the true god Eros and the true goddess Isis Psyche. Eros is a being made of golden light that fills the sky with wings. Isis Psyche is a being made of crystallized white light, their arms intertwined, and her great silver wings mingle with his golden wings. And we see they are now overshadowing the whole earth. As we contemplate them, we send ourselves their rainbow rays of harmony to all beings and existences. And we pray that all beings may be blessed. The she and humans, animals, birds, reptiles, fishes, insects, trees, plants, this earth, and all elements. And we are raised in an ecstasy in union with the divine beings. We return now from the skies and the heavens to the temple of Isis, and we hear the participants giving thanks to the deities. Psyche gives thanks to Isis.
I give thanks to the goddess Isis and thank her for being with us today for our ceremony.
The priest gives thanks to the god Eros, winged being.
I give thanks to the god Eros.
The priestess gives thanks to his mother, mother of all of us, Venus.
We give thanks for the goddess Venus being amongst us today.
A participant gives thanks to the goddess Juno, Queen of Heaven.
We give thanks to the goddess Juno for her presence with us today.
A participant gives thanks to the goddess Ceres.
We give thanks to the goddess Ceres for their presence today.
A participant gives thanks to the goddess of Era, who is also Demeter, Dana.
We give thanks to the goddess Dana.
Now we see the participants in this mystery seated, sharing bread and wine in happy communion. We imagine ourselves being given some bread, nectar, also wine of the gods, and know that it's really this gold and silver power of Eros and Isis that you feel in your own body. Wine warm in the heart, nectar in the brow like silver light. You feel this moving round you. It is now time to return, but you can come back here any time. So I want you now to say farewell in your mind to this happy company, but you don't now come down by the granite steps. You rise through the ceiling into the tranquil sky where we saw Eros and Isis, Psyche. And we see the grey castle begin to become misty, and then it's veiled in trees. We rise and we can't see daffodils anymore because the wheeling night sky is there. And shining above them all is the star, the planet Venus of love. But it's in harmony with the fiery planet Mars of Eros and the other constellations. The constellation of Taurus gleams behind them. Come back now to your own time and place. Now, you're back wherever you are. You're in another time to me and in another place, and I'm going to come with you just as a voice. I want you to come back to full consciousness. Feel yourself, feel your body. It's feeling much better than it did before, tingling and full of life and new ideas. There's a warmth in your heart and a light in your mind. You feel fine. However, you better open your eyes and bring yourself back, making a sharp noise. I'll clap your hands and I'll do it for you. There you are. You're back. Now, I'd like to tell you about the people who are joining in this. There is my brother Lawrence Durden Robertson, who gives you his blessing.
And the blessing of the goddesses Juno, Ceres, and Venus remain with you.
That was the Reverend Lawrence Durden Robertson, co-founder with me and his wife Pamela of the Fellowship of Isis, Clonigall Castle, Enniscorthy area, and you're welcome to write to us at any time. And the other participants were Sandra, the Reverend Sandra Ramdani, priestess of Hathor, famous tarot consultant, and the Reverend Noel Daly, and Teresa Hines, and Marjorie Daly, and Leslie Proctor, and also Catherine, who's also a newcomer to us, and was therefore correctly initiated. Now, I think you probably, this is all an ancient story, but illuminated through divine inspiration. So I'll tell you where the sources are. The Homeric hymn to Aphrodite, and divination, and the theogony of Hesiod. That tells the whole history of the deities. Deities, beings more advanced than ourselves, and that wouldn't be difficult. That's published by Heinemann and Harvard. The poem Anacreontia, that is the poet Anacreontia, from Greek poetry. That's lovely. One man said he understood very well about Cupid's dart suddenly hitting him in the middle of his studies at the night. That's published by Everyman's. And this extraordinary book, The Metamorphoses of Apuleius, or the Golden of Lucius, or the Golden Ass by Apuleius, who lived in the time of later than the Emperor Augustus, a Roman follower of Isis, who describes his mystical vision of Isis in that book, as well as rather frightful adventures as an ass. That's translated by our cousin Robert Graves, published by Penguin. And there is an extraordinary novel. I don't usually recommend anything later than about 200 BC, but I'd recommend Until We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. He had rather a change of heart through his marriage. He had some experience of the goddess. It's a very good novel. I'm dawdling on because I really don't want to say goodbye to you, you in your time and place. I can almost visualize whoever you are. But we must say goodbye. So, hail and farewell.